Welcome back to another episode of the Talking Mode. My name is Caroline. I'm your host, and alongside with me is
Sarah. Hi guys. Welcome back to the Talking Mode.
Yes, today is another episode of Catching Up with Sarah and Caroline. But first off, how have you been, Sarah? How have life been?
Well, life's been hectic. I think we'll share experience of, basically buried by midterms. I think we still have one or two subjects to take off, but yes, as of now, it was really tiring after super long 2 weeks of midterms. But I gotta say, it wasn't entirely bad because as I revised for my test and as you revise for your test, sure we catch up, a good scoop of gossips and scandals. We think that is really cool to talk about how people react to these phenomenons, like how they engage themselves in such a public scandals like this. So yeah, we think that would be cool. So without further ado, let's hop on this ride. Okay. In the events of multiple dramas that we have seen these days in the online community, such as the scandal involving Hien Ho, singer Hien Ho, and a possible, significant someone, or Will Smith's slap Chris Rock in defense of his wife, Jada Pinkett Smith. Well, and also CEO Nguyen Phuong Hang was arrested on the case of defamations. And so, in the events of so many dramas that has sparked among the online communities, how have they reacted to these? Phenomenons?
When it comes to the online community and people reactions to such events that we've been talking about, obviously there are mixed feelings regarding this whole scenario. For example, like the case with Will Smith and Chris Rock, there are people defending Will Smith, saying that Chris Rock is literally insulting his wife on stage in front of billions of people, but there are also other people stating that it is not so appropriate to react that way, even if Chris Rock insulted his wife. It could be handled backstage or in person, and it shouldn't be handled that way on stage. But also, have you noticed there are some conspiracies going around on the internet about that slap being fake, and that the Oscar completely made it up for promoting.
Scripted.
Yeah, it's scripted. So that's interesting. So as you can probably see, from such an incident, the online community can react in many different ways, and they can even make up or not make up, but they can spread around conspiracy regarding this event. So I would say that's how people reacted in general about this kind of events. So with that being said, you can already get what we're heading. So the way people react to certain events online, especially in an online community where many people get access to a certain information, it's called digital citizenship or online civility. And so now we will be breaking it down for you what online civility is, and the statistics regarding online civility within Vietnam, to be particular. So yeah.
So recent events has sparked lights on how we view each other's engagements, as well as reactions towards something that we're not involved, we're not a part of. But it's really important to see, how the behavior, how we as a human beings reacts to such things, and which like the level of moralities that we show, throughout our comments, or how we write about it, how we discuss about it. So first off, as Caroline has stated, there's digital citizenship and the digital civility index. So what are those? digital citizenship is the responsible use of technology by anyone who uses computers, the internet, and digital devices to engage with society on any level. And the Digital Civility Index, which is DCI for short, it's a measure of classifying the overall tone of interactions in our evolving digital landscape. Caroline, what is Vietnam's DCI among the rest of the world?
Okay, so this is pretty interesting, but pretty predictable as well. So Vietnam finished in the bottom five of the 2020 Digital Civility Index, which is DCI, survey by the American tech giant Microsoft. So DCI belongs to Microsoft, and it's kind of this survey, this annual survey that Microsoft does every single year. And so Vietnam ranked 21st out of 25 surveyed country with an overall score of 78%. So this is where it gets a little bit tricky. So the higher the percentage, the less civil the country is, and vice versa. The lower the percentage, the more civil that country is. So with Vietnam scoring 78%, that's a pretty high score, meaning that we are not a very civil country when it comes to digital citizenship. But anyway, the report found sexual and behavioral risk were among the highest faced by Vietnamese netizens when interacting online, with 49% of the 500 people surveyed having experienced unwanted contact, and also 41% of respondents face unwanted sexting, which is texting sexual information, if you're wondering what that is. While 39% fell victim to hoaxes, scams, and fraud. The report added 30% of Vietnamese respondents experienced unwanted sexual attention, while 29% cited sexual solicitation as a risk they were exposed to. So one thing that I find very interesting when reading through the statistic regarding Vietnam is that the majority of topics that we discuss about online, or the topics that drive our conversation online, regard like romantic relationships, physical attributes, and sexual things. So it is an interesting thing to think about, because why don't we talk about like financial literacy or politics, for example, but we talk about physical attributes, romantic relationships, and obviously like scandals with celebrities and stuff. But anyway, that's some statistic that I found regarding Vietnam and the DCI test in 2020. So which is 2 years ago. 2 years ago. Yes.
It's funny how you mentioned the part about why we only mostly talked about, scandals or like anything that's sexually related or physically attacked or something like that. I think there's a lot of factors as to how that has shaped the Vietnamese online communities, whereas we don't really see like academic or like intellectual discourse like within the communities. It's there are, but like it's just a minority. And I think that, I don't know, when it comes to something that, I think this has a lot to do with science, how it's intrigue us when talking about something that's so personal, and something that like uncharted territory, or like how people just trying on new experiences, and that's just made us curious. Whereas academic and discourse may be too dry, or like it requires a lot of advanced knowledge to really soak in whatever that is. So that's for that. But I think that is a very interesting point that you brought up. Okay, so back to what we're discussing here. So Caroline, when it comes to can you think of any, anyone specifically that we could use as a case study to talk about DCI in Vietnam?
So in the beginning of this episode, so Sarah, you mentioned a list of the events or the dramas that have been going on and also resurfacing on the internet. And I think one particular case is about CEO Nguyen Phuong Hang and her being arrested for insulting other people and just spreading false information online. And the reason why I think that case is special is that it has been going on for a long time, and the online community has shifted in terms of perspectives, because in the beginning, when CEO Nguyen Phuong Hang, she proclaimed that there were celebrities who use the money donated to charities for personal use. The online community reacted quite negatively. People did not believe her. And because she was quite new to the online community, she was a CEO. Yeah, she didn't do any public speaking. She didn't involve in showbiz, in the celebrities and stuff. So when she come on to the online community and she stated that, which is a very bold statement, to begin with, the online community reacted very negatively. So people, they I don't know, criticize her. People asking her for proof and evidence, which is understandable. But then after the case of Hoài and the fact that Hoài flee the country, he move abroad, and I don't think that he addressed any of Nguyen Phuong Hang's accusations against him. And so the community kind of shifted in perspective, and many people starting to think that maybe she was right. Maybe there was multiple conspiracies as to how she was right. And because of that, many people from disbelieving her to start believing in her. And so there were many shifts and changes within the online community of Vietnam because of this particular case. And now that she was arrested, many people, they were shocked, because I think that maybe many people even idolize her. They, I don't know, send gifts to her. Many people proclaim her as God or like Buddha, and stuff. Yeah, I heard one of my relatives mention how she was doing us justice, and how she was kind of detoxifying Vietnam in some kind of way, bringing up all the dark side of celebrity to the surface, which is very interesting. So as you can probably see, there are many shifts in people's reactions. Yeah.
Well, yeah, well, true. Like for so long, I think that Nguyen Phuong Hang is someone that she's a very fascinating kind of figure, because there's not so many times that you could see like a person live streaming, talking about, discussing, and basically tear down all of the the models, the role models that we looked up to, and who deposing depose all the, I don't know, charitable phase of celebrities. And well, yeah, the case on Hollywood, it was the first one that she made her fame to the online communities. And I'm not talking about whether she was right or she was wrong, but like the fact that she was very bold, and that she was very, basically, like she was kind of notorious when she was discussing about this. And well, and the way that she delivers on this really gather a crowd, because it's really, I don't know, it's really strange. And I know that on YouTube there's a lot of people who went live streams and exposing stuff like this, but it's hard. That's, I don't know, it's really sticks to the online community. I've never seen like my peers actually sharing a post about her. I was like, who's this lady, and why are they why are they so like curious about her and what she got to say? Because I thought that this was a very normal stuff, how people just went online and to make fame. But like Caroline said, some people idolize her because they believe that what she said is not totally without any base, because well, certainly there's some kind of motives behind it, and certainly there's, well, at least there's some kind of truth in it. I don't know. When there's smokes, there must be flame, right? So from her, we've seen that the community has reacted strongly, whether strongly, extremely, to really, it's really polarizing, I've got to say. Vietnam's justice by exposing all sorts of the deep darkness. So granted that she there's evidence to what she said and that she was doing that the official journalism could not bring to us. Maybe it's that it satisfies us with the thing which we tend to be drawn into something that is against the norm, right? So just granted that whatever she said is correct, but with the mixed reactions and mixed feelings on the online communities reacting to her in support of her, is it her how somehow is her motives changed? Is it just working towards to receiving fame? What do you think? How has the online communities maybe shift her motives behind making her live streams, creating live streams?
Okay, so if her motive was to, I don't know, obtain fame and become famous, then I think in the beginning she was doing a really great job at, because from a nobody, like nobody knew of her, like people knew of her as a CEO, but nobody knew of her as Nguyen Phuong Hang that she is today. So from that person, she was able to make an appearance online, a very grand appearance online. Many people, most everyone, I suppose, know of her, and so she was doing a very good job. And but then the more I feel like the more that she talked, the more she live streamed, the worse it become, because granted that she had evidence, she had proof, but I'm not aware of one incident that she presented the proof to the online community. I haven't seen any from her. I just heard from her, very strong language, very insulting language almost of people, without any evidence, which in the beginning seemed, I don't know, legitimate. But then the more that she said it, the more I just felt uncomfortable, because those languages, those terms, yeah, they were very hard to comprehend, they were very hard to hear. And so then I stopped following her. I stopped, listening to her or something. And now that she was arrested, I feel like her motive has changed, or maybe it hasn't changed. It's just fame from the beginning, but that we were deceived by her, I don't know, grand appearance, by her very strong language and stuff. Many people believe her because of that. By many of her, charities, she did go to charities, and she did make a very large, charitable events because of that. Maybe she used tactic to deceive us, I don't know. But the fact that she was arrested um means that she didn't have any evidence, because if she had evidence, that wouldn't be insulting at all, that would be exposing the truth. But she didn't have evidence, so that become insulting other people. And so that's my take on that. But I think that obviously we can't really know what her motive really was, but I just guess that her motive from the beginning was mainly to become famous. And like, even though in beginning I do believe that in beginning she really did try to bring out the dark side of celebrities and stuff. But the more that she was becoming more and more famous, it changed, the motive changed, and it become this distorted, and become very ugly, I would say. Now that she's in jail, or is she in jail yet? Or yeah, she's in jail, right?
I think she's not under like investigation.
So, but still arrested, but not like gone to trial or something. So yeah, so we can't really say anything until now. But yeah, that's my personal opinion. I think that we were slightly deceived by her appearance, by her live streams, by her language. But yeah, because funny enough, in the beginning, I believed her.
Well,
Yeah.
I think like coming from her position, like she's got the money, right? She got the
Yes.
money. She got, well, she was like the wife to one
Yeah.
of the country's
She,
biggest tycoon.
she needn't have to like lie or something, you know.
And
Um,
yeah, I mean, it's really interesting, Tina. I mean, well, my take on her, well, I'm not following up on any of her live stream, just reading the brief and stuff. But um, it remains, I say it remains mysterious and, well, take it or leave it, I guess. More kind of the attitude. Well, there's a lot of things that we don't know, and to venture out that far, I mean, um, it's a big mess, I gotta say, because, um, well, simply everything, it's not as simple as is, presented on the news.
yeah.
Right. So
But
back.
one more thing though. Do you think that we can learn from this event? Like one time that we talked about the event of singer Hien Ho and a possible affair. You know, you not you, but like a friend of us sent a Facebook post about a whole like marketing strategy
Let's talk
about this
about
whole
that.
event. And it was very interesting. And you know, that person who wrote that post, he broke down every single phase of this event, this like drama, and how the person behind all of this was able to amplify, trigger, and draw our attention to this event so effectively and so quickly, you know. So it was very interesting to read, and I learned a lot about marketing, like strange as it sounds, but it was such an effective marketing strategy. And yeah, it's very interesting, and also with other events as well, we can learn a lot. So yeah.
Well, let's just link this back to something that we have discussed before, how Vietnam's really likes to discuss things that are relating to infidelity or like celebrity getting into dramas and stuff, right? And so do you think that the post that we read about, which is basically analyzing the marketing strategy, how this whole, well, this whole scandal started and how it was carried out, do you think that that marketing strategy it's directly for the Vietnamese online communities, seeing how they are very easily attracted to such thing? Because, well, in many nations, committing infidelity, like among celebrities, it's actually very common. It's not that, it's not something so rare, like especially among the celebrities. And well, people they talked about it, but not in the way that Vietnamese communities react to, singer Hien Ho and that whole thing. So like, I'm just curious about that.
Yeah. So at first, I thought this would be another typical affair, another
Mm,
typical drama of, you know,
that's right.
exposing, yes, LGBT. But then, you know, after some days or even a week or two, like this whole event is still very viral, still going viral on every news platform. So that poses a question to me, you know, what's so different about this one? And then, you know,
Mm.
the more that I followed up, and you know, after reading that post about analyzing this whole thing, I saw this event very differently. You know, the way it's interesting that we're talking about this, but like the way how the person behind all of this, she or he, I don't know, but like they posted a picture every single hour, like hourly, so that the online community like constantly keep up with this drama. And this event interestingly drew our attention to multiple, because it linked to multiple, because in the beginning stage, the way this person revealed this whole affair is by linking this event to other affairs. You know,
Mm.
she or they hinted that at event of Cường Đô La, or at the event of many other celebrities. So, you know, because of that, it drew our attention instantly to this event. And after, you know, they got our attention, they posted a picture hourly to keep us updated. I don't know. And many people, you know, it was very interesting. So I think that that's why it's so different about this one. That's why we are so like curious to know, because normally an affair like this would just last for a couple of days. But with
I
this
know,
one,
right?
it has been going for nearly a month already, or like and ongoing. There's no sign that it's stopping any soon. So it's that very interesting.
Oh yeah, just like Caroline, I basically paid no attention to such dramas as well. I've never really paid attention to those because I don't even know who the singer was. Um, I gotta say, whoever did this was successfully in promoting Hien Ho and stuff because now I know of her, and many other people, and my neighbors talking about it too. So, um, right. So I think that it is a totally elaborate plan to, and it has stirred quite a it has stirred quite a lot in the Vietnamese community. And like her, I mean, like totally. No, I was like, come on, it's just not that I am um, saying that infidelity it's something of no like small matter, but just saying that within the celebrity, it's so common anyway. But like one thing that I've noticed is that now that I go out in the streets and then I saw how because the guy that she was possibly having an affair with, it's the son-in-law of a property company, Song Kim Land. I don't know why, but then ever since this scandal broke out, whenever that I head outside, I would see like billboards of saying Son Kim Land on the streets. I mean, I was like, oh, I know of this property of this company before, but then now all the billboard was like Son Kim Land, and I was starting to think that okay, so maybe this is like um a, an elaborate plan between the two. So I way Hien Ho could get the fame, and the other company could well receive I mean benefited from it too. So
Yeah.
ew.
So we can learn from it, basically. Long story short. Um, well, I think that we should end this session by kind of providing different methods as to how we can improve online civility and digital citizenship in Vietnam. Because, even though we have seen improvement within the statistic, or within the DCI test, still have a long way to go. We cannot beat the UK or Netherlands yet, so we still have a long way to go. So let's talk about some of the ways that we can improve online civility from now on. Yes.
So I think that one golden rule to live by is that there are many as now that we social media is thriving and it's developing a lot, so there's a high chance it's a high chance that you bumped into a lot of posts or stories or piece of news that you could stir quite a lot in the community. But as a responsible citizen, as a civil internet user, I believe that whenever you come across this thing, just think about it, have a good maybe a minute think about it, one or two, before you start to engage in sharing or directly comment in the post, because who knows, your comments may hurt someone's, or if it's not a constructive one, if it's not constructive comments, it could hurt the person who's involved in this. What do you think, Caroline? What are the ways that we could do?
Yeah, and also one more thing that I want to add to that is that be careful when you comment, also because like that comment of yours can be held against you. Like if that this event goes to court, or goes to trial or something, you can be one of the I don't know, witnesses, one of the people that involve, and so you can be held against in court and in front of justice as well. So that's one more thing to be aware of, is it's not just a comment that matters. We're not trying that you should not use your freedom of speech, just that use it wisely and use it so that it cannot be used against you.
Yeah, so I think that like one of the things is that just bear in mind that the internet is also like it's real, it's there. Some people just have these notions that you could disappear from the internet, and somehow we just abuse that to um be like keyboard hero. Hang on. I was like I think like basically keyboard heroes, how you could be like the big guy and you know in all your shiny armor and then basically write it whatever you want um without being affected by the consequences that it may bring. But bear in mind that internet is also a real place. There are people there, and just be really be responsible for whatever things that you put in there, because like Caroline said, it's when you travel there's carbon footprint, and this is basically like you're leaving footprints everywhere. It's just on the internet.
So one more way that we can do to improve online civility in Vietnam is to take the Digital Civility Challenge by Microsoft. So this challenge is designed with 4 ideals in mind, you know, 4 rule of thumbs. So first is live the golden rule, which is treat people with kindness, empathy, and compassion when connecting with others online, which Sarah mentioned already. Okay, so another rule of thumb that we should live by is to respect the differences. So this is becoming bigger and bigger on the internet and on the mainstream medias in general with the new season of Bridgerton. Another South Asian woman is being represented on the mainstream media, and so that's another footstep towards achieving equality, not inequality, equality for people from different races. And so we should live by this rule: respect differences, respect other differences and perspectives, engage thoughtfully, and avoid name calling and personal attacks. And also another rule is pause before replying. You know, like Sarah said, use spend a minute or two, think about this whole incident, and you know, even if you want to write comment, try to phrase your comment in a way that is very neutral and very, I don't know, safe for you to engage in this whole incident. And the final rule is to stand up for yourself and others. Tell someone if you feel unsafe, and offer support to those who are targets. So another thing that I don't see often online is people protecting each other. I feel like people, like myself included, we are very afraid of, you know, I don't know, attacking other people online, especially if those people have different opinions than us. So like, unlike having a conversation like this, when it comes to online, digital online, or you know, I comment under a person TikTok, I don't feel safe doing that at all, and I don't feel safe expressing opinions. And that's maybe one thing that we have to work on, you know, create a safe digital environment for people to speak up and for people to protect each other. So yeah, those are the 4 rules of thumb that I think that you should know. Yeah.
The moral of this video is to tell you that online civility is very important. And how so? Basically because the online community, the online is where we're going to inhabit in the next basically we're moving there soon. We're leaving, you know, Earth for good. I guess that, well, who doesn't want to live in the world surrounded by nice and kind people, right? So if you want that for yourself, create that for yourself and for others. So I guess that's it. That's a wrap on this video. Stay tuned,
Stay safe
and
stay
stay
on.
strong.